The 70th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards were held September 17, 2018 in Los Angeles, and like all award ceremonies, they were a wild mix of good and bad, depending on where you were and who you were rooting for. Relive the night with our picks for the 5 best and 5 worst moments from the show. Best, Henry Winkler strikes gold. Henry Winkler, known best as Fonzie from Happy Days, seems to be a genuinely nice guy who deserves all his success. So it was great to see Winkler's talents shine again in a big way on the HBO hit Barry. And it was even better to see him finally take home an Emmy Award for acting after 5 previous nominations. According to Winkler, he wrote his acceptance speech when he was first nominated in 1976, which became hilariously obvious when he gave a shout out to his now adult children.
Jed, Zoe, and Max, you can go to bed now. Daddy won!
Worst, Banter isn't always better. This year's Emmys opened with a tongue-in-cheek song about how Hollywood has finally solved its diversity problem, complete with the hilarious talents of a diverse set of stars.
We solved it! We solved it!
The funny, statement-making opening showed promise for an exciting evening. That is, until hosts Colin, Jost, and Michael Che took the stage. The goofy musical act proved to be a hard act to follow for the SNL Weekend Update hosts, who seemed a little too stiff. Perhaps the hosts fell out of place when plucked from behind their news desk, or maybe their jokes seemed a bit too eager to get a rise out of the audience. Whatever the case, this was an opening that just never quite landed.
Wow. That's incredible.
Best, All Hail Betty White. One of the most joyous moments of the night happened when Kate McKinnon and Alec Baldwin took the stage to introduce a woman who needs no introduction, Betty White. The audience went wild when White appeared, giving her a lengthy standing ovation as she gave brief remarks, cracked a couple of jokes, and seemed genuinely in awe of the welcome she was met with. No awards were given, but it was nice to have a moment of well-deserved recognition for everyone's favorite Golden Girl.
Thank you so much.
Worst, the Emmy history bits. To further emphasize the 7 decades of Emmy's history, Che and Jost called up Fred Armisen and Maya Rudolph to act as Emmy history correspondents throughout the show. This had the potential to be an extremely funny recurring bit, considering the gag was that Armisen and Rudolph apparently didn't do any research for the gig.
So you guys know everything there is to know about the Emmys. Okay.
Unfortunately, the comedic talents of these 2 SNL veterans were wasted on seemingly pointless bits that were made even more awkward by Che and Jost's lack of enthusiasm.
Once again, out of time.
Oh, no!
Best, Teddy Perkins' appearance. Fans of Donald Glover's Atlanta were delighted during the Emmys broadcast when Teddy Perkins was spotted in the star-studded audience, even hugging Emmy winner Bill Hader. Perkins, an eccentric character from the Atlanta episode aptly titled Teddy Perkins, quickly made a name for himself after appearing in just 1 episode. This was due partly to Perkins' sheer strangeness and partly to the mystery of who exactly was playing him. Seeing Perkins pop up again at the Emmys was so unexpected that the moment was instantly one of the night's big winners. Worst, the weird presentation format. If the 2018 Emmys format seemed a little different than usual, that's because it was. Instead of having presenters come out and banter for a moment before presenting the nominees and reading the winner's name, the 2018 nominees' names came first, followed by the introduction of the presenters, who then bantered and read the winner's name. It was a nice effort to break up the expected order of things, but it didn't really work.
Yeah!
Best, the live marriage proposal. Director Glenn Weiss made sure we'd never forget his 2018 Emmys moment when he accepted the Outstanding Directing for a Variety Special Emmy for his work directing the 2018 Oscars. Weiss began his remarks by memorializing his mother, who passed away just 2 weeks prior, before shifting his focus to his girlfriend, Jan, who is sitting in the audience.
You wonder why I don't like to call you my girlfriend? Because I want to call you my wife.
To add an extra layer of heartwarming joy to the surprise proposal, Weiss revealed that he'd gotten permission from his father to use the same ring his late mother had worn. Talk about stealing the show. Worst, the Reparation Emmys. Sometimes good ideas simply don't live up to their full potential. Case in point, Michael Che's Reparation Emmy segment. In the pre-taped bit, Che attempted to highlight the lack of diversity in previous Emmy ceremonies by presenting trophies to various Black TV stars. Unfortunately, it all seemed undercut by Che's apparent determination to act like he didn't need to be there. Add an ill-timed Bill Cosby reference, and you have the recipe for a truly lackluster segment, despite its potential to be both statement-making and hilarious.
Let's just say I stole it from Bill Cosby.
You what?
Best, Hannah Gadsby steals the show. Hannah Gadsby's Nanette was 2018's most talked about comedy special, so it wasn't exactly surprising when she walked out on the Emmy stage to hand out the award for Outstanding Directing in a Drama Series. Unsurprisingly, Gadsby sidestepped the usual teleprompter-driven speech and delivered effortlessly funny jokes poking fun at the response to her special.
You know, hashtag not all men, but a lot of them.
The whole thing was perfectly capped off when Stephen Daldry won the award for his work on The Crown, but wasn't in attendance, leaving Gadsby to accept on his behalf.
So I think I just leave now, and that's...
Worst, The Americans' brush with glory. Throughout its 6 seasons on FX, spy drama The Americans was a show that both critics and devoted fans loved, but it seemed like the Emmys simply never got it. However, its 4 nominations at the 2018 Emmys suggested a possible final chance at glory for one of the best shows of its era.
We had a job to do.
When the show won for both Outstanding Writing and Outstanding Actor, fans of The Americans were hopeful that Kerry Russell would win an Emmy for her impressive work on the show. However, Russell lost out to the equally deserving Claire Foy. The show's outstanding drama loss to Game of Thrones was the final gut punch to fans and critics who have rooted for the show for years, and proved that sometimes popularity wins over substance.